Well, I'm always glad to be on Maui and come home. And, one of the things that I do every time I come home is, of course, to talk with my constituents. Now, there have been a lot of things going on in Congress. Specifically for Maui, I just want to mention that I recently announced that an $800,000 in funds that will come to Maui to build some bus shelters. And I think that's really important for an island where the bus ridership is probably the fastest growing in the entire state. And then for all the veterans who are here, there's some 10 million that will be available for a veterans center. It'll be a one-stop health center, and so that's also really good news for all our vets. The fact of the matter is that these one-stop centers that deal with both the physical as well as some of the other kinds of issues that our veterans are facing. I visited these kinds of centers on Oahu, and it really works, and the families that go there say it's so good to go to one place where they can get a variety of services. And you know what, for me, sitting on the Armed Services Committee and also on the Veterans Affairs Committee, the importance of Hawaii in the middle of the Pacific and the importance of the military and to our economy is something that I really focus on. And it happens that the Department of Defense Secretary Hagel is going to be in town tomorrow, and I will be visiting with him and talking story, and of course pointing out how important it is to keep that commitment to a strong military with Hawaii as a central part of that effort. Immigration reform, we have a broken system. As a member of the Judiciary Committee, I'm so glad that I was able to participate very, very strongly on immigration reform, and a number of the amendments that were put into that bill in the committee directly impacts Hawaii. For example, an amendment that will enable our Filipino World War II veterans to reunite with their children. They have been waiting decades for this. Another amendment that would help our economy is to enable Hong Kong to become eligible for a visa waiver program, and when that happens, should they become a visa waived entity, that we'll see a lot more visitors from Hong Kong. That will certainly help our economy create jobs. We have our friends from Micronesia, Palau, and Marshall Islands who come to our state, and we provide education and health care for them. An amendment that will enable these migrants to be able to qualify for Medicaid will mean some $20 to $30 million in reimbursements for Hawaii. That will really help our state. So these are some of the things that I've been working on, and I will continue to focus on what I need to do to help Hawaii. Well, it's always a challenge because there are people in both the House and the Senate who want to cut a lot of programs. But as a delegation, we've certainly worked hard to maintain funding, for example, for the East-West Center, and with the focusing on the importance of the Pacific, the East-West Center is really important to continue. So we were able to increase the funding from what the President had requested for the East-West Center. We work as a delegation on making sure that the money for the Honolulu Rail continues. $250 million a year, that's really important to get that going and keep it going. It means jobs. And we've been able to, of course, build on the legacy of Senators Inoue and Akaka. And they laid a foundation for us. They left a legacy of hard work and commitment, and we're carrying on with that. I just want to mention that, yes, it's hard to lose all that seniority, but Hawaii's not the only state that happened to. You have Massachusetts, Colorado, other states, New Mexico, Alaska, where the delegation is pretty young. And so what this means is that we just work really hard to establish the relationships to get things done for Hawaii. There is an evening event that is going to be a tribute and thanks to Senator Inoue. There's not a function that I go to either in Washington, D.C. or anywhere on the mainland where people don't come up to me and say they either worked for or worked with or were helped by Senator Inoue. So he was important not just to Hawaii, but to so many people across the country, especially to veterans, to our armed service members, and to American Indians. So there are all these groups out there, and tonight I'll be participating in a gathering of all the people who are going to celebrate his legacy. And Irene Hirono Inoue will be here too.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to add?
It's great to be on this island. Aloha to all my friends.